It was a cold night, with the thermometer marking -30, when a young woman found herself alone at the door of the house, with only a small suitcase and the echo of her mother's words still cutting like a knife. It will freeze on the street, just like your father. The apartment inherited from his grandmother, which should be a refuge, became the spark of the fight that burned the last wires of affection between them. Good night, listeners. I'm Andre Branco, and this is the Entrelated Almas channel. Today I bring you a story that will touch deep in your heart. Follow every word. The bed creaked when Aglaé stood up. The sunlight could barely pierce the heavy curtains, but she knew, outside, the day was clear and sharp, with the thermometer marking 27 negative degrees. Shrugging, wrapped in a hot drain, in the kitchen, the grandmother, Vera Alexandrovna, was already moving with an energy that challenged her 75 years. But there was something different in his gestures that morning, a solemnity that was not unnoticed. "Good morning, my flower," said her grandmother, with a smile that didn't get to the eye. "I made your favorite pancakes, cheese." Aglaé knew that sign. Whenever Vera was anxious, she prepared something special. The old lady sighed deep and sat at the table. "The notary called yesterday. The papers are ready. We can sign the donation whenever you want." Aglaé froze. The grandmother had long talked to pass her the two-bedroom apartment in one of the best neighborhoods in the city, but the young woman always avoided the subject, as if talking about it could attract bad luck. "Grandma, why now? You're still going to live 100 years." He tried to play, but the answer was serious. "No one knows tomorrow, my daughter. And your mother," the voice shivered, "it may be a problem when I'm not here anymore. You know how she is." Aglaé knew. Larica Bogdanova, his mother, had not spoken to his grandmother for years. After Aglaé's father, a dreamy artist, died frozen on a sidewalk after another drunkenness, Larica sank in hatred and alcohol. He accused her husband for all his flaws, although she herself did not stay in the addiction. At 16, tired of screams and accusations, Aglaé had moved to her grandmother's house. Now, at 23, he was in the last year of medicine and worked as a nurse to support himself. "Okay, Grandma," he gave in, after a silence, "but nothing to sign anything without me. I want to read each line." The relief on Vera's face was visible. 3 days later, they were in the registry office. Everything was impeccable, without traps. Aglaé was now the owner of the apartment, though, of course, her grandmother kept living there. It seemed that, finally, life was beginning to straighten. The studies went well. Vera's health was stable until the unexpected knock on the door. One night, the intercom sounded. On the other hand, a woman Aglaé barely recognized, Larica, aged beyond the years, with deep dark circles and a forced smile. "Hi, daughter. Can I come in?" Aglaé retreated silently, letting her pass. The mother advanced to the room, where Vera read a book. "What a surprise, Larica," said the frozen grandmother. "I came to visit the family," she answered, looking around with a calculating glow. "What a beautiful place. Welcoming." Aglaé felt her body tense. "I knew that evaluating look." Larica never appeared for no reason. "Speak soon. What do you want?" The mask of cordiality fell. "I need money. I lost my job. I'm going to lose the apartment for debt. I have nowhere to go." Vera crossed her arms. Much, but I have a proposal." Larica's eyes landed in Aglaé. "I heard that scripture is in your name. Pass it to me. I see in my accounts. You stay with my kitnik that the bank will take it right away." Aglaé could not believe it. "Do you want us to change this apartment for a property you will lose while you disappear with the money?" "I won't disappear. I'll help you. I just have nowhere to fall dead now." "No," it was the firm answer. "This house is mine." In glee, exploded the mother. "I created you. You tortured me," corrected Aglaé, bitter. "I just reminded me that I existed to curse my father as I sank in the bottle just like him. He has no right to demand anything." Larica got up, a trembling of anger. "I'm your mother. You owe me." "I don't owe my house." The discussion climbed to Larica, turning to Vera. "And you, mother, won't you help your own daughter? I helped you all my life, Lation, but you just knew how to ask for more. Now the decision is from Aglaé." "Ah, is it?" he growled, his eyes injected. "Well, they will regret it. I will still charge what is mine." And he slammed the door tightly. 2 months passed. Aglaé tried to forget the episode, immersed her studies in work, until an unsaid call from her grandmother left her on alert. Upon arriving home, he found the door open and the room facing upside down, overturned furniture, scattered objects. Vera lay on the ground, unconscious, next to a broken lamp. With his handy hands, Aglaé called the ambulance and accompanied her grandmother to the hospital. The diagnosis was relentless: massive stroke. Vera never left the coma. 3 weeks later, he left. The funeral was intimate, just close friends. Larica did not appear. But when Aglaia returned home after the wake, she found her mother sitting in the room, as if she owned the place. "How did you come in?" he asked, exhausted. "I kept a key," laughed at Larica, with a twisted smile. "Now the apartment is free. I can live here." Aglaia felt the blood boil. "This house is mine. You don't stay. I am your mother," said Larica, sinking into the armchair. "I have the right to be with my daughter, or you leave. I even helped tidy up your things. Did you lose your head?" Aglaia shouted, his heart on his jumps. "Get out now. Don't challenge me," said Larica, the alcohol-laden breath. "I know the old woman passed you everything. It's not fair. I'm her daughter. I need this place. She excluded you because you knew you were going to destroy everything," said Aglaia, low. "Go away. Now." "I am not going." Larica took a vase from the table. "Either you give me the deed, or will regret it. Call the police. So, I will say you assaulted me. Who will believe Aglaia tried to pick up his cell phone, but lashes him away. "Don't dare!" he shouted, lifting the vase. Aglaia dodged, and the object shattered against the wall. What came later was a dirty struggle. Lation, despite the age and drunkenness, had strength. He pushed his daughter against the couch and set upon her, spitting words, "Signs the papers, or swear you don't go out alive from here." With an overhuman effort, Aglaia managed to get rid of, but her mother, blind from hatred, did not go back. Aglaia, still trembling, held on the wall so as not to fall. "You," he shouted, pointing to the door with fingers that barely obeyed. "Get out of here, demon!" Larica rose with difficulty, the chest panting like a rusty bellows. "You will still regret it." He spit, his injected eyes with hatred and vodka. "I know where you work. I'll tell everyone what kind of ungrateful daughter you are. I don't care. Please." She measured Aglaia with a look that burned like acid, each syllable a knife blow. "And I'll be back. And when you come back, you will never have been born," and fulfilled the threat. A week later, Aglaia found the closed door closed, the twisted bakes broken bones. He had to call a locksmith in a hurry to change all the locks, but the fear had already been nestled under his skin. A few days later, Larica appeared at the hospital where her daughter worked, erupting her reception as a hurricane of screams. "The slut threw me on the street. My own daughter abandoned me." The security guards dragged her out, but the poison of her words remained in the air, poisoning every look of her colleagues. Aglaia felt the murmurs on her back, the weight of the shame of others. Then came the winter. Thermometers marked 30 degrees below zero. Aglaia was coming home after a night shift, her cold dumb feet when she found her, Larica, trunk on the building staircase, purplish lips, cries fingers as claws. "You again?" asked Aglaia, the hoarse voice of exhaustion. "Go away. Mother, I won't give you the house." "Let me get in," he pleaded. Larica, his teeth beating. "I'm freezing. I have nowhere to go. The bank took my apartment. I have nothing." Aglaia hesitated. Something inside her shouted that if she had opened that door, she could never close her again. "No," he said firmly. "I don't trust you. Go to a shelter. There they help you. Do you refuse help your own mother in a cold like that?" Rudy was Larica, the voice breaking in a fury howl. "I can give you money to a hostel, but I don't enter you. Chopping with your money." He put the mother, the red eyes of hatred. "Choose with this house. You doc." And then, in a momentum of violence, he grabbed Aglaia by the shoulders and pushed her against the stairs grid. The young woman just didn't plummet because she clung to the railing with tooth and nail. "Get out, or call the police," he shouted, taking his cell phone out of his pocket. "Flame." Larica advanced again, trying to pull the device out of his hands. In the fight, they stumbled to the door of the apartment. Aglaia, in desperation, pushed her mother back and threw herself, locking the door with a thud. But Larica was faster. One foot stuck in the crack, preventing the door from closing. "Open," he shouted, hitting his body against the wood. "I'm your mother. You can't do this to me. Go away." Aglaia pushed with all her strength, the burning muscles. "Settle on the street, like your father." In a brutal movement, Larica threw his own weight against the door. Aglaia flew backwards, fell on her back. The mother broke into the apartment like a stormy storms, the wild eyes. "I'll put you out. This house is mine." He grabbed Aglaia by his hair and dragged her toward the exit. The daughter struggled, kicked, but Lation, possessed by an inhuman force, was stronger. With one last push, he threw his daughter out and locked the door with a final bang. "It rots on the street like your father." He echoed Larica's voice on the other side. Aglaia knocked on the door until the nodes on her fingers bleed, shouted, threatened to call the police. But no one answered. Wearing just a drain, no phone, no keys, she got stuck in the cold staircase, the wind cutting her skin like blades. It was only when the neighbors on the downstream heard the screams and came to investigate that Aglaia was saved. The elderly couple involved her in blankets, called the police. When the agents broke into the door, they found Larica already drunk with a bottle of liquor that robbed the closet, raising that the house was hers. The documents, however, told another story. Larica was taken in custody. The next day, a criminal case was opened: invasion of home, aggression, threats. The judge condemned it 2 years in probation, with mandatory treatment for alcoholism, but she never admitted guilt until the last day in court. He insisted that his daughter had stolen her. For the next 5 years, Aglaya did not see her mother. Finish college. He got a job at an elite clinic. He met Mikhail, a talented and kind architect who moved to his apartment after the marriage. Life finally began to make sense. Until, on a November, the intercom played. Aglaya opened the door and froze. There it was Larka, older, thinner, with plastic bags full of foot rags. "Hello, little girl," he said, the tremolo voice. "Can I come in?" Aglaya stared at her in silence. The woman who had thrown her to die of cold, that had humiliated her, assaulted, betrayed, now a beggar at your door, eyes back, your hand shaking. There was no pity in your heart, no hatred, just a deep tiredness, as if all the tears already have without dried for a long time. "I have nowhere to live," Larica continued, the voice breaking. "I sleep at the station. It's getting very cold, maybe just for a few days. I changed." He swore. "I don't drink anymore. I won't disturb. I just need a corner." Mikhail appeared in the hallway, silent, resting his hand on his wife's back. Aglaya took a deep breath. "No, goodbye, mother," and closed the door. "Are you sure?" Mikhail murmured, pulling her to a hug. She nodded, leaning her head on her shoulder. "I've decided this for a long time. She'll never change." Outside, no noise, no scream, no supplication, only the sound of steps moving away, slowly, as if they carried the weight of a lifetime of errors. A month later, Aglaya received a notification of social services. Larica had been found in a homeless shelter, with the toes and frozen hands. Between delusions of fever, she muttered that she had a daughter, but she had abandoned her. Aglaya went to the shelter. The mother was lying on a narrow bed, among other figures bent by misery. Seeing her, Larica turned her face to the wall. "Did you see how I die?" He scratched, the rough voice like sandpaper. "No," answered Aglaya, dry. "I came to say I'm going to pay your treatment, and I got a place for you in a nursing home. It has medical care, good structure, but you won't live with me." Larica turned slowly. There were tears in his eyes, or maybe it was just the weak light of the room. "Why do you hate me so much?" "Don't hate you, mother," said Aglaya, without a shred of excitement. "I just don't believe you anymore, and I don't want you near my family." "Family?" Larica leaned on his elbows, his eyes suddenly alert. "Do you have children?" Aglaya put her hand in her womb, almost imperceptible. "In 5 months." 3 years passed. Larica lived in the nursing home, where Aglaya punctually deposited allowance. Visits were short, once a month, without intimacies. Sometimes he carried his son, but he never left him alone with his grandmother, until, in one of these visits, he noticed something different. About the Larica headboard, an old photograph, she and Aglaya's father, young, smiling, with a baby in her arms. "I found it among my things," Larica explained, following his gaze. "We were happy at that time." "What happened?" Aglaya asked for the first time in years. Larica was silent for so long that Aglaya thought she would not respond. "I don't know," he admitted finally. "Life he ranked. His father started drinking. I was angry. Then I started drinking too. When he died, I blamed everyone but myself." He looked at his grandson, playing with the knit bear she had done herself. "I lost a lot, Aglaya. Just now I understand." Aglaya said nothing, but on the next visit, it was with Mikhail and Timov, and for the first time in years, when they left, he hugged his mother. It was not a long hug. It was not a forgiveness, but it was something. Because sometimes, to heal, you don't have to love. Just stop bleeding. To build a bridge over the abyss, it must first admit that the abyss exists. And that is what Aglaya did, not with words, not with empty promises, but with that small and heavy gesture, the hug that did not ask for permission to happen. The mother felt the weight of the years in those arms, the distance that would never be filled, but for the first time it did not hurt like a knife. It hurt like a scar, and even that was a relief. Because there are wounds that do not close with eye drops or dressings. There are cracks that only start to heal when we stop pretending they are not there. Aglaya did not forgive. You may never forgive. But he set aside the illusion that time, alone, would fix what had been broken. Time does not fix anything. He only reveals what is already rotten or what can still be saved. And in that room, between the smell of cold tea and the ticker of the wall clock, something moved. It was not a miracle. It was at the first brick,